Hello everyone, welcome to Come Sit at My Table. We're Tom and Melissa and we sure do appreciate that you're here for our video. Today we are making Chewy Peanut Butter Bars. Now this is a very simple dessert, has very few ingredients, and it goes together very quickly, but it is delicious. So let's talk about what we're going to use today to make Chewy Peanut Butter Bars. We're going to start with 1 stick of butter, that's half a cup, and we have cut it into pats because we're going to melt it, and if it's cut into pieces, it just melts faster. We also are using 1/2 cup of creamy peanut butter, 1½ cups of white sugar, just regular granulated sugar. We're using 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and that's been spooned in lightly. It's not packed in there, it's just lightly spooned in and leveled off. We're also going to use 2 eggs that we're going to beat very lightly. And I want you to look at these beautiful eggs. Our wonderful neighbors, Ernie and Twyla, and their daughter Leah, brought these eggs to us from their chickens. I have wanted chickens for most of my adult life. I would love to have chickens. But when you have something like chickens, you have to be home and you have to take care of them. They don't take care of themselves. So Melissa and I have been really blessed that Ernie and Twyla and Leah have graciously shared some eggs with us several times. And their eggs are always just absolutely beautiful.
They take really nice care of their chickens.
They do. And I tell Ernie, I don't want them washed. He does not have to wash them for me. I like them with the bloom left on them because they last longer. And he always says, man, I didn't wash them. That's just the way they are when I gather them from the coop. The man must have the cleanest chicken coop in the whole world because these eggs are just, they're beautiful and they're spotless. Okay. And we also are going to need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, my guess is that you have everything in your house that you need to make this really delicious but simple dessert. Butter, peanut butter, sugar, flour, eggs, and vanilla. It can't get easier than that. So let's start by making this dessert. We are going to start by, let's turn our fire on. By the way, I have already heated our oven to 350 degrees. I'll turn that down a little bit, that's too hot. I have preheated it to 350, and I have already sprayed with nonstick spray a 9x13 pan. So you should do that before you begin the recipe. Spray a 9x13 pan and preheat your oven to 350. All right, I might be heating this a little too fast. I'm gonna turn it down some. Okay, we'll let that butter melt. And in with that butter, we're going to put the peanut butter. Now, we aren't bringing this to a boil or cooking it. All we want is for it to melt. I think you could probably do this in the microwave. I don't know why you couldn't, but the directions have always said to do it in a large saucepan, and that's just the way I do it. But if you want to do it in a microwave, I think that would work just fine. Your choice. If you try that and it works, let us know. Just comment down below. And while we're mentioning commenting down below, let me say that we sure would appreciate if you would hit that like button. It looks like a thumbs up. It's right below the video. If you would hit that, click it, and click the subscribe button if you've not already done that. If you've already done it, you don't have to do it again. You only need to do that once. All right, let me stir this until it's all dissolved. This dessert is going to go with Melissa tomorrow to a ladies outing, ladies get together. What is it, Melissa?
Yeah. Well, a lot of times we have girls' night out, but we're actually going to have a girls' night in since it's kind of, cold and yucky and wintry. And
yeah.
So we're going to stay in, but we're getting together and having some food and visiting and just, socializing, having fun.
And it's her job to bring a dessert. So this is it. Okay, you can see that our butter and peanut butter are melted. And that's all we wanted. We didn't need to cook it or boil it. So actually, I'm going to grab a hot pad to put this on, since it has been on the fire. Now, we're just going to stir in the other ingredients. Let's get all that off there, because I don't think I'm going to need it again until we slide this into the 9x13 pan. All right, so we're going to take our sugar, and I'll put about half of that in. Stir it in really well. Let this get dissolved. All right, put the other half in. That may not have been quite half the first time. It doesn't matter, just as long as you get it in there. But you do want to stir the sugar in first and let it kind of dissolve before you add the flour. So just stir it in. Make sure you get it down off the sides. If you want to, you could use a spatula to scrape it off the sides. All right. Now that sugar is mixed in pretty well, so let's start adding part of our flour. And that's probably way more than half. Actually, I'm just going to put it all in there. Now, as you can see, it is getting thick. But we have not added the eggs yet. So let's add our eggs. But before we put those in, we need to beat them just a little bit. I just can't get over these beautiful eggs. And let me tell you, they are delicious, and we know that.
They've made nice breakfast meals for us, haven't they?
We have been eating a couple of eggs each for breakfast. This is just part of the eggs they brought us. And they are so, so good. Okay. So there's our 2 eggs, and yes, I scrape everything out of the inside because I don't want to waste it. Get out of there. Okay. Get rid of that. Now, I think I got a little piece of something right there in it that I don't want to have in it. So, I'm going to dig that out. It's a part of the lining of the shell. So, let me just get rid of that. Okay, now, let's just beat those eggs up a little bit. You can see how fast this is coming together. Once we get it all put together and we get it in our 9x13 pan, then all we have to do is bake it for about 28 to 30 minutes. I'll start watching it at about probably around 25 minutes. So let's put
Sometimes our oven seems to bake hot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think the gas is a little warmer than the electric stove.
Yeah, we used to have an electric stove, and I really feel like this gas bakes hotter than it did. But I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't go back to that electric stove for anything. Not a chance. Love my gas stove. Okay. So now you can see, now that we're stirring the egg in, that mixture has really loosened up. It's not nearly as thick as it was, but it takes a little bit of elbow work to get it mixed in there. If you wanted to do this with a hand mixer, you could do that. Nothing in the world would hurt that. But There's no reason not to just use a spoon if you've got the strength to do that. Okay, now let's stir in a teaspoon of vanilla. And that's 1 capful. All right, that's in. So let's stir that in really well, and then we'll be ready to put it in our pan. Oh, it smells wonderful.
It does, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. You know, peanut butter is one of my favorites. I like anything peanut butter, especially if it has chocolate on it.
So you know what I'm going to put with this, don't you?
What?
I think maybe chocolate ice cream would be really delicious to go with this.
Well,
Butter and chocolate.
Is this just a girls' night out?
Well, I'm going to let you
The
have
husbands
the first
aren't
bite.
invited?
You're going to take the first bite here, right?
Hey, wait a minute.
I knew this was coming.
Speaking of it being girls' night out, and this is her dessert she's taking somewhere.
I knew I wasn't going to get by with this.
Why am I on this side of the camera?
Because you love me.
Yeah, I do. Okay, come back up here.
Okay.
I couldn't even begin to count how many times Melissa has said, somebody's commented and wanting to know why I'm never in front of the camera. So I'm going to have her tell you why she's not in front of the camera.
Because you are so much better cook than I am.
Melissa.
You are.
Melissa.
And this is my skill to be the videographer. And I get really nervous on the other side. When I have been on the other side, it does make me nervous. You know, we've had to stop and start 2 or 3 times when we've made our messages before because I get nervous or...
Like it doesn't make me nervous?
Well, you don't show it like I do.
I promise you, folks, it's not that I won't let her. We had somebody comment and said, why won't you let your wife be in front of the camera? Why won't you let her do some of the cooking? Like I refuse to let her do it. I promise you, it's not me.
I think this arrangement works out really well.
Oh, okay. Let's just talk about something else too. How many people have asked us why it's called come sit at my table instead of come sit at our table? We've had a bunch. There is a reason for that. Years ago, and I do mean years ago, I started a Facebook page that I really thought was just going to be for family and friends of things that I cooked. And Melissa told me that, you know, it was my page. So I named it Come Sit at My Table because I was the one doing the Facebook page. It had nothing to do with her not being able to cook, because let me just promise you, my wife is a really good cook. But I named it Come Sit at My Table because I was the one doing the cooking and posting and whatever. And then when she convinced me to start a YouTube channel, we thought it just made sense to keep the same name and make them match rather than change, have one of them named one thing and one another.
And we just didn't really think it would ever be a big deal.
We really didn't. We thought we might have 15 people join our YouTube channel. We just never dreamed it would grow. So it's called Come Sit at My Table because that's what my Facebook page was called. And it was called that because it was things that I cooked. That's the only reason. Has nothing to do with leaving her out. I promise you. I love my wife. She loves me. The table belongs to both of us. It's just a title. Okay. This goes into a preheated 350-degree oven for 28 to 30, maybe 32 minutes. You'll just have to watch it. I'm going to start watching it at about 25 minutes. And when it's done, we'll take it out. we'll bring you back. We'll probably let it cool for a few minutes before we come back and show you, because I don't want to cut it hot. But as soon as it's ready to cut, we'll come back and let you see what it looks like. All right, we will be back just as soon as we're ready to cut it. So our Chewy Peanut Butter Bars are out of the oven and they have cooled. I've actually let them sit for probably an hour or so. You can see that they're a little browned around the edge, but the middle is soft and they feel like they're nice and chewy. So I'm going to dust the top with just a little bit of powdered sugar, because I think that would look nice.
And we're fancy like that.
Oh yeah, we're fancy like that, yeah. So let's just put a little powdered sugar. We're not going to cover it. We want to be able to see that they're peanut butter bars. But we'll put just a little on there. And Melissa is going to take some chocolate ice cream with her. I think you mentioned that earlier, didn't you?
I think chocolate and peanut butter go great
So
together.
I got some chocolate ice cream out. Let's put a little right here in the corner. So I got the chocolate ice cream out, and we're going to put a little of that on the plate for me to have. Are you going to try this? Are you going to sample this with me?
Sure.
Okay.
Even though I'll have some tomorrow.
Okay. Now, before we go too far, let me tell you, I know I was picking on Melissa earlier about me making this, and she should have been in front of the camera. I do wish she would do some of the cooking videos, but I understand she doesn't want to be in front of the camera. And I was just giving her a hard time. If I didn't pick on her, she'd think I was mad at her or something. Okay. And we'll show you that before I put the ice cream.
Nice bar, babe.
Looks good, doesn't it?
That smells good.
It smells wonderful. What's it smell like? It smells like peanut butter. That's amazing, isn't it? Okay. So let's put a little chocolate ice cream on there. Now this is a bar. It's not thick, so you don't want so much ice cream that it overpowers it. So just a little, even though I could eat that whole box. Okay, do you want ice cream with yours?
No, I'll just try the...
You just want the bar?
Just the bar first.
You want the edge, the crusty part, or
Sure.
the middle?
I like the edge.
Okay. I knew that's what you'd take, but I thought I should
It's
ask.
kind of like a brownie, too. I like the...
Yeah, you
edges
always
on
like the edges of a brownie, don't you? Is this too big of a bite for you?
Probably, but that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, she always says, give me a princess bite. Oh, I'm sorry. That was twice as big as you could eat.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to take a bite out of the middle.
Those are good.
Man.
They're almost the consistency of a fudgy brownie.
They are. They are chewy. But they are peanut butter. There is no doubt. And this chocolate ice cream will be really good with them. That's a perfect combination.
My girls'
Okay.
group's going to love you.
Is your group going to be upset that I've cut it?
No.
Good.
Because you're going to... I know
Oh, what?
you're going to have another piece, aren't you?
I'm probably going to have another piece before she takes it tomorrow. Because it's good. Thank you so much for watching our video. We do appreciate it. We also appreciate that so many of you comment on our videos. It is a lot of fun for Melissa to go through and read those, and she reads a lot of them to me. She tries to comment back on as many as she can, but it's almost impossible to comment on all of them. But we want you to know that we really do appreciate that you interact with us, that you post, and that most of the comments are so nice. Remember to go right below the video and give us a thumbs up. That just says you like the video. If you've not already, hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell beside of it and the word all. That just joins you to our channel. Also, if you'll click that share button right below the video, you can put it on your own social media page so your friends and family can see our video too. Remember that right below the video where you see the title, Chewy Peanut Butter Bars, if you'll click there, that box will expand. Melissa always puts the written recipe there for you so you can write it down, you can copy and paste it, whatever you want to do, but the written recipe is always there. And our contact information is right under the written recipe. Thank you again. We really do appreciate that you've joined us. We always love for you to come sit at my table. So make sure you join us for our next video. And remember, you're always welcome to come sit at my table. Have a great day.